I was never good at taking directions. I always preferred to, figure it out myself. Not that I wouldn't listen. I was and am a huge researcher. But I didn't want somebody else's experience. I wanted my experience. And I think that's the underlying theme for finding the unseen, is it really was a journey, and still is, a journey of discovery. And I learned through experience. And I think we all do. When I was teaching, that's one of my greatest desires for the students, was that they have an experience. Not that they get through the manual, but they have an experience, because that's what transforms people. In chapter 1, when I talk about that magic moment, that's what it was. And that's the thing with an experience, is it usually happens like that. It's in a moment, everything changes. Now, why is that? Because when I say everything changes, I mean everything changes. Because when you have an experience, your awareness grows. It doesn't grow linearly, it grows spherically. So what do I mean by that? We have something that I call your awareness circle. Now, I realize this is 2D, so imagine this as a sphere. I'm going to call it a circle. So we all have an awareness circle, and every circle is a little bit different. And inside that circle is everything that we're aware of, both physically and non-physically. Now I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Physically, well, that's the world of your 5 senses. That's the information that you create your physical experience from. And then there's something that I call non-physical. So what do I mean by non-physical? Well, that's where you use your thoughts. Okay, so what are your thoughts? Your thoughts are pictures and movies, voices, or dialogues. So every thought that you have is going to be comprised of one or some of all those components. Whether it's a memory, same thing. Whether you're projecting into the future, same thing. When you're thinking about what you're going to have for lunch today, where does that experience exist? It exists in the non-physical. Now, if you're looking forward to, Ribs Wednesday, even maybe as you're watching this, you're going, yeah, ribs. That's good, ribs, right? So, but they don't exist anywhere in your physical world, do they? That experience exists exclusively at this point in the non-physical, yet you are having a very real physical experience that comes from that. So then what happens is, when we have these, as I said in the documentary, magic moments, we have this instant spherical expansion of our awareness, both physically and non-physically. A common experience that students would share is they would say, like the next day after a workshop, they would say, like, colors seemed brighter and food tasted better. Why is that? Those sensations were always there. They were just currently outside of their awareness. And I think this is what's important, because when I talked about, and I kind of gave a recap in chapter 4 about when I talk about twisted hair, and I said how when you have these expansions, suggestions that not that long ago seemed nonsensical, seemed crazy, all of a sudden they aren't. When I talked about when I first met twisted hair, one of the things that was so profound for me was how normal it felt. Why did it feel normal, because everything that fits inside my awareness sphere or circle, your awareness sphere or circle, is going to seem very normal. And therefore, everything outside of it is not. But here's the thing. When your awareness expanded, it expands in a very natural progression. It's not like in a moment your head spins around and you start to elevate or levitate from the ground. This expansion happens, and then you're experiencing of it in a very normal, if I can use that word, flow and fashion. And that's why for me, as I continued down that journey, is while those evolutions were amazing, and many of them I would go, whoa, this is kind of trippy, but at the same time they felt very normal, very natural. And all the lessons that I've learned along the way, and the ones that I'll share with you guys in the Finding the Unseen Academy, are not designed to feel like strange or otherworldly. They're actually a very normal path that every one of us is designed to take, because every one of us, that includes you, is by design to grow, expand, and evolve. It's within our nature to do that. In chapter 4, I talked about how one of the greatest disservices we do our children is confining them to what maybe we have decided, to what society has decided, to what the education system has decided, to things out here have decided is normal, is appropriate, is right. And then anything outside of that isn't. That's what the journey to finding the unseen was all about for me. And I offer the same opportunity for you. Just that simple.